I'm not gonna waste your time with an intro. Let's just get right into it. Bam. Today I'm going to talk to you about what it's like making products in the House of Raige. I've wanted to record a series like this for a long time, but I was waiting for the perfect moment. I realized that perfect moment is never going to come, so the time is now. I want to talk to you guys about how I make my masks. Now, I don't have a set direction or order that I take care of things in. So first up, I'm going to talk to you guys about the tags. So you see this open in Photoshop right now. I just got finished updating the tags. I want to keep things new and fresh and keep everything streamlined. I do have some already printed out that I'm going to show you. So of course it has my logo on top, the care instructions, materials, and then on the back there is a pictorial. This is a character by the name of Gibberish. This character was designed by my friend Tara Marie. I said I just want like a character that we could just display how to put on a mask, and you know, whatever you come up with I would love to use. She really did a great job. I really didn't give her much direction, but I love what she came up with. So once everything is printed out, I get my cutting board or guillotine, whatever you want to call it. This is it here, and I get everything cut out. You can see here I have these little crosshairs that kind of help me make sure that I'm cutting in a straight line. So this is how I'm going to show you guys because I don't have a better method. So I do have some that I already started to cut out. Now, what I do is basically just lining up those crosshairs. And that's how we do it. All right, so moving along, I now cut them all out individually. Well, I'll cut out the rows, and then once I'm done cutting out the rows, I cut the individual tags. All right, so now the tags are all cut out. It is time to move on to the next process. So this is a corner punch, just because I think that it being rounded, it's just cooler, cuter. You might be wondering, why don't I just have my tags made? Well, the thing is, for now, it's offering me the flexibility to adjust the design. Of course, if I was to make a design and I had it sent out, it could be sent back to me and they could have made a mistake or I could have made the mistake. And then I'm stuck with a design that I don't particularly like. So this gives me the opportunity to make it, adjust it if I need to, and I'm able to make them as I need them instead of ordering too much and then not using them, or ordering too little and then needing more. This is made on 110-pound paper, which is cardstock. So it is not thin. Of course, you can see that it holds its shape as I lay it flat. And yeah, it's pretty durable. So that's pretty much it for how I make the tags. Now let's move on to the next process. Next up is the wire for my masks. I get this all made and situated before I actually start cutting out and sewing the fabric. And I uncoil it and I have it all like this. And once that's done, I'll take my ruler and my bolt cutters. I had to go grab my bolt cutters. I thought I had them in front of me. So then I'll take my ruler and my bolt cutters and I just measure it to 4 1/4 inches. It's okay if it's a little longer. I used to like straighten it out and measure it, but there's really no point. And then from that point, I just go through. I'll usually like do it on my lap and I'll hold it between my shoulder and like clip it, and I could get it done pretty fast that way. But just to save on time in the video, and you don't need to see like every minuscule detail, it's not that serious. Once that's done, I have the wire like this and I get it looking like this. So I have my rounded needle nose pliers and I just take it like this and I'll maybe go like 1/4 inch of the way down, and then I rotate it do the same to the other side. And there it is. Doing things in production, I call them production runs. I don't make one mask at a time. It's not like I'm making one tag, finishing it, cutting out one strip of wire, you know, bending it and doing it. Like, I'll do a bunch in a row. This is all that's ready from my last batch. This is a wire that I previously cut up that still needs to be bent. Doing everything like this, like in rows and in batches, saves on time, it saves on money, and it's just like, boom, now that I know all this is done, I can go to the next thing, which would be cutting out the fabric. So let's move on to that part. All right, now I have everything set up in the kitchen. I have my cutting mat here. I have my rotary cutter, a yardstick, and the template for the mask. What is this? Wax chalk. So this is really cool. I use this, I learned about this when I was working at the tailoring studio. This is really cool. It's vaporizable, so I could like mark on the fabric, and once I iron or steam it, it disappears completely. This is really great. All right, now I'm gonna tilt you guys down and just walk you through the process of what I do to cut the fabric. Now, this is 60% cotton, 40% polyester fabric, just like that. Now, I'm gonna do the straps first. Markers here, of course, so 1 inch, 2 inch, red inch, blue inch. That's stupid. So then I just mark it like that. I have to hold it in place at the bottom, like this. And then as I get to the center, I will move my hand up and finish cutting. Boom, just like that. And then I'll set these aside. Of course, I do like a bunch. I will cut 20, 30, 40 strips at once, just so I have a bunch made. But I already have some left over from my last batch, so I'm not gonna cut that many. So I take the mask, template, now, I do, of course, make a bunch at once, but just for the sake of time, I'm just gonna finish cutting out this row. And I just go along here. And, of course, being super careful, these are sharp. And now we're gonna go into my sewing room and finish up the job. Okay, so we're in my sewing room now, and there's a lot of different things that need to be done now that all the fabric is cut out. So the first thing, all of my masks have decals, and I apply the decals with my Cricut heat press. Working with a limited amount of space, and I'm not able to just have everything out. I have to put things away, and I take them out like as they're being used and as I need them. So my ironing board I keep behind the door. So now that everything is set up, I have the iron heating up. This is the strip of fabric. I'll put it in here. I take my little needle and I pull this through. And what that does is it folds it like that. I just go through and I pull this along, slowly letting out steam to press it into place. So it's been folded in half inwards, and now I'm going to take it and fold it once again like that. And that is how you make the straps for the masks. So now that the straps are done, we are going to move on to adding the decals to the masks. So these are all vinyl and they are pressed into the fabric and they are cut out with my Cricut. But because I already have a bunch made, I'm not going to show you guys that step. Plus there's already a lot of people that kind of show like how a Cricut works, so I'm not gonna display all that. Typically, I'll do 4 in a row, and once this heats up, we'll continue with the process. Sometimes I'll move this one, and I can just unplug it, and I just, you know, set it over there while I'm working on this. So what we'll do is we'll make some trans flag masks. Always when heat pressing, it's best to heat up the fabric a little bit beforehand. So you see the white on top there. Now just heating it up a little bit. And boom, gone. Those steamable wax chalk, what is it called? Goodness gracious, I'm terrible. Yeah, it's steamable wax chalk, and it's great for tailor-rated sewing. Anyway, before I stumble over any more of my words, let's move right along. Right, so here they are, they're all positioned. Now the next step is very quickly just pressing them and making sure they stay put. And to make sure I'm able to press all of them at once, I reposition them like this. Because of course, the base of this is only 9 by 9 inches. So we need to make sure that everything is pressed. Now that that's done, we're gonna let that cool again. I'm gonna get these out of the way, and then we'll move on to sewing them. Now you can see here, like there is some space where it doesn't go all the way down, but that's fine because once I sew it and then bind it, it's not even gonna matter. You know what, actually, let's move the camera to get you guys in a better position. Switch these over because sewing it like this, I've realized that the presser foot does have a hard time gliding over that. So I do it upside down. So now they're all cut out and ready. If you are a customer of mine, I always have the design on the right side. I'm gonna wonder if you bought one this way, if it's gonna be that way. No, if you buy one this way, it's always gonna be this way. Watch, I'm gonna eat my words and I'm gonna make a mistake once and I'm gonna send one out, but so far that hasn't happened. And let's move on to our next sewing portion. We are going to put on the binding. All right, now let's get started. Oh, I could hear that it needs to be cleaned out, so I actually might move over to the other machine just so I don't have to worry about this just yet. Yeah, you know what, I'm going to. So we're just going to continue the process, which is one of the reasons why I have 2 of them set up at once, because if something happens, like sometimes I won't feel like cleaning it out, or if, you know, like something happens with the threader, it's like, you know what, I'm not gonna worry about it, I'm just gonna move on to the next machine. We're just gonna get started. Let's reposition this once again, because I'm terrible. All right, let's get started. That's that. So now that they're all bound on the sides, you go through, you trim them all. Here I'm measuring them, making sure that I'm starting at this point. Here we go, let's do it. So now I'm gonna make sure that it's lined up on the same side. That's it, that's the mask, but we are not done just yet. Let's move on to the final part. All right, here we are at my industrial sewing machine. This is where I finished the final part. Now, We're gonna take the wire here and there you go. So now I just take it like this and I just run it under my industrial sewing machine. All right, guys, here is the finished mask. Of course, you can see it has a very awesome curved design. It will contort and fit the shape of your face. It is stretchy this way, and it is stretchy this way as well. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to film the next one. All right, bye.